every kid with autism. I'm gonna cry.
Why do you feel so bad about having autism?
I don't. I think it's like when you find out you have a mental health disorder, you're just kind of like, yeah, like that makes sense, like why I felt like this like forever. But also, it's almost like an identity crisis.
I think there's a bit of shame that comes with it because when I was raised, you don't want autism, you don't want ADHD. Like they wouldn't even talk to me about it because they said, "Don't worry about it. You don't have it, and you don't want it." So when I started really asking myself, could I be autistic? I felt a little ashamed, and that was from old teachings, like old ways of thinking. And also, they had labeled it as a problem, so I was like, is this just another problem I have?
Yeah.
But I don't view it as a problem anymore. I view it as a really cool, unique thing about me that I'm very proud of, you know?
I don't feel bad about it, so people make me feel bad about it.
I don't care what people think about me.
What makes you feel
Society.
bad about it?
Caitlin, I grew up my whole life not fitting into society.
I really don't care what other people have to say.
I'll get over it. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you find out, like, oh, right, you have anxiety disorder, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then you sit at night because you're like putting every solution in your head, like that would be that would be that, you know. And then at the end of the night, you're like, the fuck does that even mean if I have anxiety disorder? And you like think it's like a different type of reflection.
Yeah, I reflected. I was like, if I have autism, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for people who view me, see me? Like, I just had a whole identity crisis where I was thinking about almost like viewing me from third person.
It's like coming out of the closet, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Wow. Moving's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to take all those glass panels out of that lamp and store them carefully.
Again, if you
what
find
are you
it,
talking about?
No,
No,
listen,
you're
Caitlin.
not.
Also, if you move, like I said, you say you have a way to move in like slowly. You just pick the bitch up, you drive, and then you put it in the new house.
Why are you trying to take that thing apart?
She said, "I'm gonna unscrew every nook and cranny."
Why?
You know I be dropping shit.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky because you
You're
don't
gonna
want to
drop
live far.
all of the shards individually. Like just
just
wrap that thing up.
You want to move like how far away do you want to move?
Not far.
You could fucking
Moving
put
is
that
gonna
thing
be
in your
easy.
car. You know, one thing, I always put my jewelry in my car with me, my rocks in my car with me, and anything else like that I don't want movers to touch or whoever the fuck else is helping me, you know?
And you could literally just go like this. Okay, we're moving, guys.
Mariah breaks it right now.
That'd be tragic. Anyway.
When I was talking to Rob, he was a seller for this auction house. They had the exact same lamp on their Facebook page, and I said I could have matching lamps of my pink lamp.
Why didn't you get it?
I think it was like $60. I did not have $60, but like
I would have spotted you.
I like it by itself.
It'd be different if she had like a symmetrical like bedroom, like nightstand. But since it is a standalone piece, I agree.
Yeah,
I don't even like symmetrical lamps. I think it's gross.
But it was just cool. I was like,
she could have one in the room, one in here.
I want an eclectic look.
I explained your style as that to my dad. So I was talking about how you were living with me, and I was like, yeah, because he's like got real eclectic style. I was like when she dresses up for the first time, my grandma gonna be like, "What's your friend wearing?" And my dad at first thought I was saying that like you were gonna dress like in like short shorts and like in like skinny clothes. Like I was like, "No, Dad, like she's got a very unique fashion statement." And he was like thinking that my grandma was just gonna judge you because she's old fashioned. I was like, "No, that's not it." I was like, her style is just very unique, and my grandma's gonna be like, "You don't dress like that, Mariah." I'm like, "Nah, it's just Kenzie. She got a Leo rising."
She likes
it's
jewels.
Like you were dressing up. What did you wear at Lightbox? And she was like looking at it.
She looked at every single one of my outfits. My first outfit was that orange vest with the white undershirt and then the striped pants. And by striped, I don't mean like black and white chunky stripes. I mean like the gray pants with really thin great pattern
more
looking
like a
down.
texture than a pattern.
No, it's a pattern. It's just lines, just cut out lines that make squares. But they're very small, very small. And so I think what she was looking at was my vest, because my vest like kind of goes a little bit above my belly button, and it really suctions your like upper chest in, and then you have like a a loose flowing blouse underneath, so you look kind of like a pirate with like layers. Yeah, in my opinion. And she was like, "What the fuck is that?" She didn't really like that outfit that day, but the next day when I wore the orange pants with the white blouse and the orange pants had like a really cool
butterfly
cut,
stuff on,
my butterfly earrings and everything. She's like, "Damn, bitch, that looks nice." She didn't say that though. She just looked at me with envy.
I also told my dad that you like to be stimulated a lot, and he was like, "She can go watch Family Feud with Grandma." Imagine I come home and Kenzie's just in my living room with my grandmother.
So I can't be alone.
And they're like, name 5 things that your husband doesn't want to find in the house. And Kenzie's like, oh, I know the answer, Steve Harvey.
She probably will. Kenzie will be upstairs, like, she just want to get out of the fucking basement, get some sunshine. She'll be sitting on the couch with her iPad, drawing anime girls with some titties out. Your grandma's in her chair across the room, can't see what she's drawing, just like, this is nice, I got company.
My grandma just sits here and watches, like, pimple popping videos on her phone and then watches the news.
I
And,
hate pimple popping videos.
She don't do much. You could just sit there and draw, and she'd just be like, how's it going today, Kenzie? You'd be like, good, Miss. She'd be like, okay. And then she'd say something random like, those cars that keep driving up the street, I don't even know who they are. I used to know everyone that lived on the street.
I'll be like, why don't we go out and go looking for them?
I just don't respond to her. Because she says it a lot. I live with her. It's okay.
Watch Miss and be like, my little friend talk to me more than you do.
Probably. It's fine. Well, bring us in, Kenzie.
What do you mean? I'm not the one sharing. Do you want me to ask?
That's not how it works.
Yeah,
That's not how it works.
it's right here.
All right.
It's right here.
Can you You're listening to Post Credit Depression, where we discuss this week's current hyperfixation. Hi, my name's Kinsey, and my fun fact for this week is that I have 6 canker sores from stress.
My name's Kaylee. My fun fact this week is my favorite flavor sour straw is only seasonal ones, like Christmas.
Caitlin stole my fun fact because it's also about social stuff. I didn't have one.
I just came up with it on the spot.
Whenever Kenzie gives her fun fact, I wasn't gonna laugh so much. It was the randomest thing.
You didn't think the Kanye West thing was random?
It's about what I'm thinking
No,
about,
but hers
focusing
is
on.
you just don't expect it. It's always like, okay. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is that I'm munching on sour straws right now. I now have 4 Peter Pan pop figures.
Peter Pan pop.
Thanks, Kenzie.
Can I have one of them straws?
Almost bought yours in here. But I was like, she says she ain't want it. Dang.
Y'all about to have like a watery sound to your mouths with like all the salivating from the sour candy.
I know they're not that sour, but every time I bite them, I'm like, ooh.
The strawberry ain't even that sour.
Elijah used to give me warheads when I was a kid, and he used to always give me the sourest one and not tell me, and you'd literally be like,
I can never finish one of those. I put it in my mouth, I spit it out.
This is like the only fruity chewy candy I like. I don't really like fruity chewy candy.
Yeah.
You good over there?
I'm good.
When we bite these, we're like just hit a blunt. We're just like, yeah, we're good over here.
Y'all, that's why I like the seasonal ones, because they have like citrusy, like my mouth is watering, like the blue lemonade, like some crazy.
Last winter, I liked the winter ones last year. This year, didn't like them.
They're the same.
I swear to God, they weren't the same.
Now, are you talking about the little Christmas tree ones that are red and green?
No, I'm talking about these ones. Remember last winter we ate these all the time. When we had COVID, we ate these
in the year
bitches.
2020, they had the cucumber one. They had the watermelon, or it was like the something melon. They had the lemon, and then they had the grape pineapple.
That's what I'm talking about.
And those are the same ones from 2020.
No,
like,
this year they had like a lime and lemon one. It was. I swear to God, they did not taste the same. I didn't like them this year.
Is cucumber lime still growing?
We must have had fresh ones 2 years ago and like reused ones last year because they weren't the same. Damn. I don't like it. Whoever's listening loves this.
ASMR of. Sorry.
I'm trying to chew with my mouth closed, and Kizzy's mic ain't close enough, but maybe you just hear her going. Or why you don't eat on a podcast?
Somebody got asked me what I'm introducing this week.
Yeah, we were just chit-chatting, bro. Caitlin, what you making us watch this week? What are you suffering? We're suffering. What are you pushing upon us? Your Jehovah Witness style force.
Come on. This is actually, well, I did have a Jehovah Witness it for you, yeah. But this is actually a really nice week. This isn't, no Rescuers Down Under. This is a good quality content.
Caitlin, what are we watching this week?
We watched The Promised Neverland this week. Specifically season 1.
That's the only season out.
Yeah, season 2.
No season 2.
Season 2.
Literally, first season, 1 season watch, guys, and then read the manga.
Whatever.
It's 2023. We still don't know when they're going to come out.
Yeah, when are they going to animate season 2, bro? I need to know what happens. I guess I'm going to have to read the manga.
So, before the podcast even started, Promised Neverland was one of the very few that I introduced to Mariah.
Before this friendship started.
Before the friendship even started. I believe Kinsey had watched it before me because we had a mutual coworker that had recommended it to us both. And then I think we watched it all in like one sitting. Like it was so good.
I started without you though, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, but you
Yeah.
showed it to me.
I finished the entire thing without you, and then I showed you.
Yeah, we watched it all in one
Because I
sitting.
said, Kaylin, I watched this all in one day.
Yeah, so did Mariah, and so did I. And I would say one of Colin's red flags is we've been watching Promised Neverland probably for over a year, and I'm just like, you're watching this way too slow. I'm like, you're
Oh my
not even
God.
getting everything. And he's like,
He
I
was
swear.
willing to pause the show. I couldn't pause it after.
I know. I'm
So-
like, I was on the edge of my seat at this part, and he's like, me too. And then like gets up to go play like farming simulator.
His brain worked different. Because like even Attack on Titan, he was like, "I'll take a break." I was like,
I can't.
What?
"Listen, when you made that list of animation that I should watch." Sorry, I just had to lick the.
Dust.
Yeah, anyway, that was embarrassing. I feel embarrassed about that.
We watched you.
When you told me to watch it for the first time, I was like, yeah, I'll get there. And then, like, you just reminded me all the time, like, yeah, don't get my list. So I finally sat down and I watched it one night at, like, midnight. I was like, I'll click the first episode. Next thing you know, it was, like, 4 a.m. And I was like, I need to
Girl.
go to bed. I can't finish this right now. And I still had, like, 2 or maybe 3 episodes left.
I put 3 things on your list. I put The Promised Neverland.
Mm-hmm.
I put Beastars, which that was like the one thing
attempted.
from the list that like you attempted and didn't finish or really care for. And I put Over the Garden Wall. And you picked The Promised Neverland. I never knew why you picked that one first until like today. Like you have 4 Peter Pan pops and you love Peter Pan.
Because
He's your
you like
favorite man.
Neverland.
You just heard the word Neverland and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Dude, that makes so much
Interesting.
sense why she chose that one. She's like,
So,
where's Peter?
Where
well,
these
I
kids
didn't.
going?
To be fair, I didn't watch Over the Garden Wall because Caitlin insisted that I only watched it during the fall. Which the first time I watched Over the Garden Wall was not in the fall; it was in the summer because I just wanted something to watch.
It was so good too.
But I watched Promised Neverland and I didn't catch up or I didn't finish it. I came over here the next day and I was like, oh, by the way, guys, like all casual. I was like, I'm on episode like 10.
We're gonna watch the last 2 with you.
Yeah, and you were like, right now, sit down. And Kinsey was like on the edge of her seat waiting for me to watch
Bean
this ending.
broke into the fridge that night. He was sleeping on
was
the
that
egg
the
carton.
first- was that that night?
Hey, check that thing. I hit the cord.
You're good.
I want to say it was that night. I remember Kinsey yelling at me over dishes that night too.
Oh, that's like every night. I don't
Because that was like probably like the second or third time I came over then.
I remember it was like one of the first times Mariah came over, and I'm like, "Why are you doing this with Mariah? She's a guest."
Yeah, like I swear to God, like the first time that I was like actually comfortable, like I didn't just come and like sit properly on the daybed. Like I was like actually chilling, hanging out with you guys, and I was just like, what just happened? And
Like-
y'all were going in at it, and I was just like, I don't
because
know.
I have to, Kaylin. I have to say something.
And I was just sitting here like, mom and dad are fighting again. But it's okay. So we finished it, and
Also, spoiler alert for the first season to the
yeah.
Promised
Before we
Neverland.
dive in,
Spoiler alert.
I just remember being so like dumbfounded at like the ending and how everything was happening, like mostly the Ray stuff. But I was just like, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do that? And Kinsey was like, did you look it up? You looked it up. I was like, I just said it. I didn't know.
Yeah, Mariah's like notorious for really being able to guess endings. I'm talking like she got no hints from us, no hints in the show or the game. Like I was surprised when I watched it. I was like, wow, you would think maybe you could zip line across the edge, but like I guess I never considered considering
I
they
was like,
didn't
they
have
don't got
any.
a zip line.
Yeah, I was like, they don't have a zip line. They don't have any materials, so they'd have to
I
figure
was
it
like,
out
the mom
themselves.
took all their rope.
My
Mhm.
friends actually, like, even like other than you guys, like my other friends hate it. Like I used to see movies at Cheyenne all the time, and I'd guess the ending, and she'd be fucking pissed. So like, can you just enjoy it? I'm like, I am enjoying it. I just made
Oh
it
yeah,
an
I'm
assumption.
pissed. I don't like it.
It's not like I do it on purpose. I'm just like, oh, I bet you this could happen.
What assumption did Colin have?
I think it's just because I've watched a lot, like I've just consumed so much media that I can just like
Because I'm so well
didn't say that.
No, I think you're just good at guessing. I think you're a logical person. I think you ask, what would you do in that situation? That's why. Because I was like, well, yeah, I guess I thought about maybe would you zip line, but I kind of threw that idea away. If like, what can you do about it? And Mariah's like, well, no, this makes complete sense. It's just so shit to get. Like,
Yeah, I can't help it. It's fine. What were you saying about Colin?
I was trying to remember. He was guessing like one of the JoJo characters' powers because it was a secret. It's like the whole thing. You don't know what his powers are. You haven't seen this
Yeah,
season,
don't
so I'm
spoil
talking
it.
vaguely. And it was super funny, and I was sitting here trying to remember it, but I can't remember it, so I just dropped it.
I want to bring up something since we're talking about the show. When I first watched the first episode, and you get to see that little kid, I don't remember her name.
Connie.
Connie. Yes, she dies in the first episode.
They only talk about her like the rest.
Yeah, she's like only the inspiration for the rest.
Shut
of
up.
the show.
She was such a cute little kid, very innocent, kind of dumb. Can't help that, but she was just a character you're not gonna hate. You actually are like, oh, like a little sister, little dumbass. And I was just like, I'm so happy for you to find a family. I was like, makes sense. You're young and people don't adopt older kids. Like, wow, that's rude as hell.
It's like a happy-go-lucky show. You're like, this is so genuine.
And I was like, this is so great. I hope she finds a good family. And then they straight up fucking kill her when she gets to the fucking little cart, little horse cart thingy. And I was just remember feeling so appalled because I was like, whatever, shut the fuck up. It was a cart looking thing, Kaylin. Damn. What I'm saying is that like she was just a cute little girl, little kid, just wants to be happy. This woman watched her, grow older by several years, and she just mercilessly did not give a shit about killing Connie or having Connie be killed. Yeah. And I was just so shocked when I saw Connie dead as fuck with that weird ass flower in her.
Aww. And the dead. Yeah. Mariah and I were talking about the title of it the other day, and it's called The Promised Neverland, and it's this, like, promised place, like, oh, you'll have a family and shit, and you never get it.
Like, it's not a real place.
Yeah.
They're stuck in their youth. I mean, in theory, like, I'm pretty sure...
Stay young.
It talks about, like, how they, like, lost souls, like, after this, like, lost children. And there's, like, a whole family that never gets dead.
I would completely see that. I completely see that.
I watched it in English. And you guys watched it in Japanese. Not because I didn't. I just like play in English, and I thought it was funny because we were talking about how you didn't like. I don't think you liked even Ray's voice. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I only liked Emma's really.
Ray's voice was so good in English.
I don't remember what his voice was.
But yeah, he kind of did.
In Japanese, he sounded like he's like, "Yo, what up?" Like he sounded like a kid, and in English,
they made him have this like raspy, grown voice, but it just fit like what you'd expect from him, to be honest.
Yeah, but my thing is, like, out of the two, I guess that I just, maybe that kind of voice is just overdone, and sometimes it's appropriate for an edgy character. It's like, yeah, that guy definitely would have a raspy, edgy voice, but, like, he's just a kid, so having, like, a monotone...
I think that, obviously they were children. Kids. I think, yes, they were children, but I think when you, like, watch it...
Yo, sorry, I'm trying to pull up his...
But, like, I think the thing is, like, they were so smart, and Ray was, like, so much smarter. I think even though he was, 13? Mm-hmm. Like, he was, like, a quote-unquote older soul because he knew so much.
Actually, Norman knew more than him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, like, in the sense of, like, Ray knew, like, all the stuff with his mom and stuff.
Only because he was able to remember things from being in
I'm saying I think that he had more knowledge of, like, the outside world, which probably, like, was, like...
He has this, like, really... overpowered ability to remember shit ever since he was a fetus, which was like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I think that obviously Norman was smarter, but I think that...
Okay, Japanese. Not this bitch. Yeah, he does. Okay, I heard a little bit of what he said. He does sound like a raspy emo. And when you said that, I was like, wow, is it like a nice voice actor? I was like,
no, it just is like raspy. It's not moving now. I'm mad. I just want to see it move. Anyway. It's recording. It's just not moving because I like went back and I don't know how to set it back. But like obviously Norman was smarter than Ray, but I think that Ray just had this weird like knowledge of stuff that he shouldn't have known at 13. So I think that he like was an older soul in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he just had access to certain knowledge based off of his like physical upper hand ability of knowing stuff while being in the fetus. And he does talk about how he figured it out with the fragments of information he was getting from those memories. You know, like he didn't say that he knew that stuff as a fetus or even as a baby. He said he has memories from those times, so he put pieces together. Yeah.
Man, I wish that this podcast existed back when I watched The Promised Neverland for the very first time, before I even knew season 2 existed. Like, the first time I watched it from beginning to end, I was so freaking hyped, and it was like, and it still is, one of my favorite animes. My point of view about it now, like, understanding, because back then I was like, what's outside this wall? And I was so excited. It was like a perfect mystery where, like, even the whole first season, they gave you bits of information and you only wanted to learn more, and like learn how these kids are going to escape. And then at the end of the season, like, they get out, but you're just like, what are they going to face next? And so now it's like, you know, I have a different feeling about it, a different mood. It didn't like ruin it for me because I still can show someone the Promised Neverland, like share it with them and watch them go through all those feelings and emotions too. But I really wish, like, maybe I'll have to hear how Mariah likes the manga and stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna read the manga. I mean, I've still heard that it's like one of the best manga to read.
Yeah, but the season 1 is such a strong, like, the hook episode, the finale, like, it's such a strong season of anime, like, that I love showing.
Yeah, it's got so many twists. I mean, you think you start from the beginning where you're just like understanding the concept. They're like taking the test. The smart kids, you know, they age out versus the dumb kids that just get taken.
The world.
And then all of a sudden, like, you find out this truth and you're like, fuck. And then they're just like casually playing tag and you're like, okay, they're going to escape, right? Common sense. They now know the truth. Let's escape. And then they introduce the other sister.
Sister Krona.
Yeah. Kaylin, share your opinion of Sister Krona.
Actually, one of my favorite opinions, I was watching, because I was looking her up. I did not like her character design at all, and I was looking up, like, other people's opinions about it. And this one black girl was like, they really dropped the ball on her design, because in, you know, Japan, there's not a lot of black people there, so they're going off of, like, caricatures and just completely dropped the ball. But then she also went on to say that, like, the writing of her purpose in the story, her backstory, like, the whole character written, they're like, I like her character, but you guys ruined it with the design. So that's how I feel about it, because when you get to know Sister Krona, like,
you start to feel sympathy for her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we talked about the mother and how, like, she sits here and she watches these children grow up and raises them. And her justification for it is, one, she wanted to live. Two, she's like, as long as, like, these kids are going to die anyways. I know it's outside these walls. I know these kids will never have a chance at living. So at least my goal is to give these kids the happiest 6 to 12 years of life as I can. And that's my job as a mom. And then I feel like Sister Krona is a little bit more human than the mom is. Like, when you really get to, at first you think she's crazy. Like, the way that they introduce her. But then when you learn more about her, like, she's even more human than the mom is.
She's got the little doll. She's like, I want a child of my own.
Yeah. And she was willing to help the kid. She's like, as long as it's a win-win for me, because, like, I'll help you if you can help me.
I wonder if the truth is that, like, how far would she have really helped her at the end of the day?
Maybe she didn't believe that they could actually escape. So she's like, I'll give you information, you know, because I'm trying to take down the same guy that you guys are trying to take down. So maybe she also just thought, like,
maybe at one point she would have, like, limited the information. Like, she was, like, giving enough, but not all of this
Or maybe she would have thrown them under the bus to get more of, like,
caught them in the act. Like, yeah, here's how you escape. And then she would have been like,
and
caught ya.
Been like, you're a great mother. You can be a mother now of the house, you know? I think that was more of it. I don't think she actually... At the end, I think she was rooting for them when they were literally killing her and she was trying to run away and stuff. She was like, you guys, you better live. I gave you that information. I feel like she gave them the information.
Yeah, I forgot about that scene.
Yeah, I feel like she gave them the information initially because she didn't believe they could do it, and it could benefit her if they got caught. And she
that's why she was talking to the other bitch that, like, wasn't even in the group. But she was like,
But at the end, when she realized that they still don't care about her, they're not going to give her that position. They were just going to kill her anyway. She was like, well, since y'all know, I hope you get out of there.
Yeah.
And I think that was pretty human of her, you know? I mean, if you were living in that kind of
you're basically choosing to survive.
Yeah, you're trying to live.
Also, the moms literally have an implant in their heart that will kill them. Like, they don't get a chance to escape. So they have to play into the system, and she just was trying to get by like everybody else. And when she still was killed anyway, she's just like, you know, like, I hope you guys have a chance because I didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was something that was really sad to me, is that they implanted that stuff in the moms. They tried to believe they would get killed.
When they first said that, I didn't believe it. I was like, bullshit. I'm called bullshit. Step outside that fence.
But, you know, one thing Sister Krone did give us is whenever I need to send you guys a meme of me chasing after Chowder, chasing him out of the office, I just send you guys that GIF.
I hate that GIF so bad. I did. Sorry.
We're not going to have that argument.
No, we've already had it.
That's a whole episode.
I know. My graphic design professor would be like, GIF is peanut butter.
GIF just sounds gross. Like, say GIF.
I think I've used to say both alternatively, but it just whatever comes out of my mouth. Like, I don't really. Everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say it.
That's something in my brain. I'm like an ick.
Let's see. If I pick up like the next mini arc, it would be the part where Norman has that whole plan. Let me tell you, mind blown. I really didn't believe. You know what I'm talking about? The plan when he like set up. He was like, I hid something, and if Connie tells, then we know it's Connie. And if I hid it over here, I told the other bitch.
That was Ray that did that. Oh no. Sorry, you brought up Connie. She dead.
Don
and Gilda.
and Gilda.
Yeah, that arc.
She was like, I told Donna, I put the rope in the roof, and I told, what the fuck's his name?
Okay, Don
and Gilda. I
Don
told
is a
Gilda.
boy, not Donna.
I told Gilda that I put it in the bathroom, so we'll figure out who took the rope in the morning. And then that plot twist that was actually Ray. I was like, wait a second, I thought he was a good guy.
That's when
And
now
he said
he's a
that
bad
to Ray
guy.
to
Yeah,
know
I
that
can
if
see
Ray was
I could see
He set
Mariah
him up.
up late, already watching. She's like, after this episode, I'll go to bed, and then she finds that out her favorite character
yeah.
is actually the spy.
I was
Then
like,
she kept watching.
I was like, hold on, so he's actually working for Mother?
But then he was like, guys, don't worry, I'm actually a double
I didn't believe him at
agent.
that point.
I work
He
against
lost
the
my
mother."
trust.
Oh yeah, he lost my trust. And then
He's like, I'm
only
working
believed
against
him
the
for
system.
The fact that like he's still gonna get killed, and I do believe that he loves Norman and Ray. Like the chemistry was real, or no, not Norman and Emma. He really loved them. I could see that he really cared about him, and he was like, "Yeah, but we're not saving the rest of everybody." And that was where the conflict rose.
Yeah,
I believed
him after that, but at the time, I was like, I will never trust him again.
Mm-hmm. I was like, "Y'all want to leave Phil?"
Yeah, can we?
The sad compromise that they had to make leaving like the babies because they can't take care of those babies.
I mean, think how realistic. Like when Emma was like, "I'm not leaving this. All the kids are safe." I'm like, do you I'm not trying to be an ass, but like, do you really think you can do that? You have a newborn
Imagine
upstairs.
trying to save Chance,
Yeah.
Mariah.
I'd punt his ass. I'm kidding.
Imagine trying to run outside the walls with monsters and
he
demons.
speaks a lot and repeats the same thing until you acknowledge it. He'd be like, "Duck, duck, duck, duck." I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up. We're gonna
get killed."
Yeah, but he won't stop until you acknowledge that he said duck.
Yeah, but I think it was really smart of them to be like,
Yeah.
listen, give us 2 years, we'll come back for you. And Phil, you're the only one that gets to know.
I mean, which
They
first
trusted
of all, you have to, because one, like, they're all kids, they're babies. 2, they're not as intelligent as Phil. And 3, if you tell these kids, like, they will come back in 2 years, by then at least 24 of you will die.
Who thought
That's panic.
Yeah. Who thought that even for a second that Phil could have been the spy?
You thought
No.
For a second, I was like,
there was like
he might be too sweet.
Phil just like was so nice, and you were probably like,
Yeah, I was like, are the writers giving me this adorable, cute little boy just to like plot twist, and then
He'd
he's
be like,
back?
Emma, I'm hungry, and
What's
you're like,
sad, though,
killer.
guys, is that although they said that they'd come back to get Phil, you also have to take into consideration they did successfully leave.
Mhm.
So what other
What's outside?
stipulations? No, what other stipulations were they going to put
Oh,
to make it even harder for
yeah.
them to leave? Like
Yeah.
essentially,
there's so many
Phil
factors.
could still die. You
Like
know?
realistically, you're right. Like they could change the whole wall system. They could add like fucking barbed wire.
Yeah.
Also, they don't know what they were seeing when
that
they
was a
left the
major
walls.
breach.
They don't know. They could have died immediately after leaving the walls.
So like they were putting a lot of hope in Phil when they don't really know how things could change.
They're like, "What's up, little motherfucker?
there's so
we trust
much-
you."
like there's so much that could still happen. Like, what was I gonna say? It's at the tip of my tongue. Sorry, I have to cut all the silence out. My
It's fine.
whatever. Keep going. I'll remember.
That's all I was mentioning.
Yeah.
Is that I think that would have been really hard to be Phil, knowing that like things could change.
Yeah, I mean, they
After
could
they
change the
successfully
whole
left.
structure, and not even just that home, but all the homes. They could be like, "Oh,
Oh,
that many kids managed to escape. We need to change the way we're doing this."
I was gonna say, not only does everything like change, like they're upping security because their top like producing farm had a
Mhm.
major break. Like that was extreme. Like that was the top producing farm. Their best meat basically all
Mhm.
ran away besides Norman.
If I was the bad
and
guys,
then-
I would have killed everyone in that farm. I'd be like,
Yeah.
"You guys are all dying."
But they thought Norman was so smart that they kept him around.
Yeah.
You know?
So then
They killed Norman.
Obviously, guard will be out.
Shut up.
That's one thing though. This is what I had to remember. They still had to figure out how to survive and how the world works and how they can even get back in. It's like there's so much that goes on. It does make me wonder what will happen, but like with the real existence of season 2, I don't want to believe it's that version. Like the way that you guys wrote it so well.
I told you that they I pause myself. They animated like I heard 40 chapters into 2 or 3 episodes because they like skipped over so much stuff.
Yeah,
I did like that little bunker they had found. That was
I heard that was supposed to be a whole fucking arc in itself.
Yeah. They literally introduced it and then they like kill it off in one.
Yeah, obviously spoiler for season 2 is like the real one that does exist. Like Norman's return, like I called that. Like when we watched it, I
It
was like,
pissed me
I didn't
off.
see the body, they're not dead. And Kinsey
Yep.
was like, Ryan, Norman's dead. And I was like, is he
I
though?
knew the answer. I was just trying to.
Oh,
fuck
you were
with
being nasty.
Yeah, that was still-
When I was a kid, I watched Teen Wolf with Cheyenne, and every time they'd kill someone off, they brought them back. And I had this motto in any show, movie. I'm like, if I don't see the body, they're not dead. Because
prove it.
even if their intentions are to really kill someone back, and then they magically want to bring them back later, it's like that's how they get away with it.
Yeah, I mean,
highly insinuating.
Yeah, I mean, which they did a good job with Norman.
they killed him off like what in season 1. They did such a good job with that goodbye. I was crying. I was upset.
How dare they? I
like,
cried during that scene every time.
And when I even had the thought that like Norman could still be out there, and this is just the writer's arc and what I wanted to see. I wanted them to almost earn Norman back and work their way up. I wanted it to be a reward in the story. I didn't want to wait forever, but like I didn't want like the way that he showed up.
Like it was
that's not how I
casual.
wanted
Like
it
they
to
weren't
happen.
living in a dangerous world. Norman was just like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Miss ya." And you're like,
Nah.
"What the fuck?"
Broad daylight. Like I kind of wanted our guys to like become badasses in this world, little demon slayers, like maybe preteens, like because it took that long, and then they find Norman and he's actually been working on the inside and like doing a lot of shit on the inside, getting some shit done. They break him out and they're like saving this world, whatever. Like
when I get around to reading the manga, I'll have to let you know because like that's like honestly that was like the part I was looking forward to the most. So I'm mad that they ruined it in animation.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what your thoughts on the manga. God, we're talking about Promised Neverland season 1. Now we're talking about season 2 a little bit, but I was gonna say, for the concept of the demons, I really liked the first demon that they meet, like the humanoid one.
I think I watched the episode with you guys.
Yeah, I did like his character, even though at the end he still wanted to kill and eat them.
Because he was like, "That man's hot."
Like, he still no. After I saw he wanted
Oh,
to kill
yeah.
them, I was like, oh fuck no.
Wasn't it like he's like I have to do it like in nature? He's like I can't just.
Well,
Yeah,
He's like I have to
respected
hunt
hunting.
them,
He's like, I want
Well,
to hunt
which
them.
is
not
wild.
just respected hunting. He thought it was immoral to trap these children, raise them to be eaten like cattle. He disagreed with that. He's like, humans
That's what
should
I
have
just
the
said.
same chance to kill us. We all exist in this world together.
That's what I said though. He
Yeah.
likes to hunt them.
He believed
doesn't
in
want
like
to-
the natural selection, basically.
The thing is, though, is he is a demon in this world. I can respect that more than the other demons.
Yeah, but I still don't like him because he lied to them. The point is, at the end of the day, even if he's gonna hunt them legitimately, he didn't let them know legitimately that I'm still your enemy.
He was
made
just like,
them
"Here's
sound
your
like-
food. Let's say our prayer. Let's eat. You guys are so lovely. Here's a nice bed."
And in a sense, that's a way of lying to them, like
Mhm.
raising them to believe something else. Like
Yeah, because the only difference between him and a groomer is like he let them go at the end of the day versus like just continue to take care of them.
yeah, because like he'll be back for them.
Yeah, he said that.
He wants them to like learn the land so that it'll be like.
He's like, "Yeah, go experience humanity, but like I'll find you when your brain and your knowledge is better because you'll." Because think about how much they have such limited knowledge now. Like for them to be like, "You guys are so smart just by the shit we're teaching you." Think about how much their knowledge is going to expand just from like being in the real world on their own independence.
Yeah, he's like, it's gonna taste it.
He's like, "I can taste that brain already." Gosh. But no, I definitely think like I have rewatched like half the episodes. I think when like Carrie came over to watch it, and like it's something that it's like an easy rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Keelan said, "I like it better in Japanese."
I do like it in better in Japanese. I feel like their voice actors there's so much emotion.
I
in
will
their
admit that
voices.
is a lot.
They sound
That is good.
natural.
Mhm. There's like no weird pauses or anything. Like I don't know how they do it.
You will always hear my criticism with dub over sub or sub over dub. My enjoyability while watching it, because I have plenty of English shows I still like. I'm sorry that a majority of them like are sub. They're just good.
No, that's
but-
valid. I mean, I think that any normal person should watch it in sub. I think I just happened to hit
But when
play
an
and I was
English
like, "We're
cast
watching
pours
this."
their heart and soul, like
Yeah.
Naruto, Fullmetal Alchemist, and
For Naruto, I can say that I like both the English and the Japanese
Mhm.
just as much. I can't really pick one. I think
Mhm.
voice actors are perfect for who they casted. Each character, both sides.
Yeah. It's only because obviously like the contents changes a lot in sentences. I mean, even like Skate, I watched it in
that one's
sub,
an English
and then I
one.
watched it in English. I heard how funny it was, and I was like, "This show is just funnier in English. Just watch it in English.
That's
it's not meant to be a serious show."
I think it's like whichever one, Japanese voice actors, English voice actors, when they have fun with it or put their
Mhm.
heart into it, I'm having fun and I'm like paying attention to the show. But like if it's half-assed and it's not good, like I don't really.
And
want
who's
it.
know
gonna
that
miss out on
TikTok?
bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes? Because that
That's
doesn't
good shit.
exist.
You know that anime reference? She goes, "Jump, bitch!" and the bunny jumps in her
Yeah.
arms. She's like, "Thank you," and
That's
she wants
Ghost
to.
Stories.
What?
So Ghost Stories is an anime that flopped in Japan. It didn't do good at all. So when they sent it over to America, they're like, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want with it. It did so bad that we're not even trying to like be successful with it anymore. Do whatever you want. And they basically just memed it. They would come up with their own story, their own dialogue, and yeah, there's a lot of memes from that show.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could watch The Promised Neverland in either. Obviously, I've done it. I think I just like started in English. I was like, that's like what my brain is like comfortable with because that's what I start. You know, it's like the first time experiencing it. You're like, yeah, that's what I'm used to.
Yeah, I mean, you were low key like you had watched anime in your youth, like Inuyasha and stuff, which was still English. And even for me, it took a second to get into sub because it.
I mean, I watched it with my brother in sub. I was just like, I think because it was midnight and I just wanted to watch something.
I think just like for the concept of like you have to get used to reading and watching all this action at the same time. Like for me at first, I was like, "Whoa,
yeah, I'm just lazy.
I've only ever heard English anime or cartoons, but you find a really good one, you get hooked. You're like, I'm not going back.
I'm just lazy and I want to be able to do something while I watch TV a lot. But then
I can't do that.
But then you show me like something that's actually good content. Well, I think I just like I want to pick up my phone when I want to pick up my phone. Or like I want to look away for a second.
No, I get autistic. I have to enjoy every frame of animation.
The ADHD don't let me focus on one thing for too long. But then you show me like good voice actors, like you said, I'm hooked. Like you showed me Levi for the first time, and I was like, I don't know who that man is.
That was like when I was having my crochet month. Not one time did I pick up any anime. I was always watching normie shows. I was having a boring time actually with what I was watching because I refused to watch anything I wanted to watch. I was like, I want to sit down and watch that. I don't want to be doing something else or looking.
You got to put on the funny reality shows whenever you do something productive like that.
Yeah, but let's see, what else is there to talk about? I guess the next arc would be the finale to talk about like. Well, we brought up Norman's death.
So Norman dies. R.I.P. Rest in peace, Norman. And then we get into Ray's whole breakdown. Like he's like, when I was in the womb,
I remember.
I remember when
that part was completely stupid. I don't like that he can remember that far back.
I will like we will listen to anime out of context. He was like, great anime, but this one moment, and I was like,
yeah,
it's like not questionable, but it does kind of like it's
what I think
fantasy.
is crazy is that he knows the mother is his real mother, and when we find that out, when we think about how she treats him, it's just like. That was your kid. Are you telling me you had absolutely no feelings towards your kid when you birthed them?
I will admit that was the biggest shock. I think finding out that was his real mom.
Maybe I haven't had a kid yet, so that's why I don't know how that shit works. But I would just imagine if you did carry something in your uterus.
But she had to do that. But like in the life she was living, she could not form attachments to him because he was going to die either way. The same way her mom probably died.
Well, I mean, like even if you're not going to form attachments to them, you still care about them, though. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you're knowing that you have to give it up, there's like women out there that are. You know, they're, what are they called? Surrogates.
Oh,
and they still care about them. They still have to give them away, but they still care about them. And I'm like, I feel like she showed like literally no love towards him.
She was like, you know what I can offer you? 14 years max.
I agree. That part is unrealistic. And I think that, you know, my explanation for the writing of the story is that like we were watching it from like our point of view, like looking in, and like both Sister Krona, mother, like they're raised in this world where they're like, you can't change.
I would argue their brains
can't escape. Like everybody will die. You're getting the privilege to live by working for us. So all you can do is go give these kids the happiest life. And it must have done something to her brain psychology.
About with like the surrogates, you're right. Like they are attached. Like that's why people make contracts and pay money for surrogates. But I'm sure that like the society that they live in, like this fantasy world, like it's possible their brains just aren't wired the same as ours. Like the bitch.
I mean, maybe they're so traumatized that they're like, I'm doing this just to survive, and I'm actually really, really pissed that I even have to be here.
Yeah, they probably don't have time to like develop emotions like that. They're like, we only have one outlet, one input. Like that's it. They don't have like the sympathy part of the empathy.
I was saying, like, this is my theory. I was just wrapping it up. Is I think being raised in that world and then going through that whole boot camp system. Not only is it like indoctrination, and people are going to react differently. Sister Krona reacted differently than that mother did, and I'm sure a lot of women react differently to being put through that. I think for this character, it psychologically messed up her brain.
Yeah,
and, like, that connection she could have had with Ray, I think it's fucked it up. Where she's just like, "You're just one of my children.
Her fight or
You're
flight
all gonna die."
She's like, "This is my only option to stay alive."
Yeah, so. It's still very selfish, especially outside looking in. But she's just kind of like, "This is the system. This is how it's rigged. Like, play the game."
And she didn't question it. Like when they offered Emma to be a mother, she's like, "I don't want that." Like she immediately was like, "I don't want that." And I'm sure like the mother probably thought of it, but she was not like as outlandish as Emma was about it. Because you're right, she doesn't have a choice. If I looked at you at the age of 14, Caitlin, and said you're going to die or birth a child right now, and then you're going to have to let that child die, you probably would have been like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you literally have to pick one, and I'm sure a lot of scared children would pick the one, and then once you get like I said, indoctrinated, you will start to just not believe in the system or care for
realize
the system,
there's no hope for the
Well, you guys
system.
also have to remember too that every single one of these people before Emma never knew about the reality of the world until they're 14, until they have no choice to escape. The only reason Emma and Norman got to know was because Ray has this special ability to have memories from when before he was, cognitively aware.
So they only know point A, point B. They don't know all the other possibilities.
Yeah, I think maybe if the mother would have known when she was like 10 and found out the real truth, she would have had 3-4 years to plan her escape. But she didn't.
She did try to escape, though. But then she was like, I can't get over this fence. Just kidding.
She still couldn't do it, though. She tried to plan it.
It wasn't a real plan.
She went on top of the wall and saw that big-ass ravine.
She's like, well.
Big-ass drop. And was like, I tried to escape. There's no way to escape. So she didn't have enough time, is what I'm saying. If she would have had enough time, like they did, to at least brainstorm ideas to get across, maybe she could have escaped. But she didn't.
I also think that, like, our main characters are smarter because, like, she saw that. She had to have been smart enough to be accepted as a mom, and she was a successful mom. But at the end of the day, she's just like, you can't change it. And these kids were like, hell yeah, we will.
I don't know. But listen, she was given a time frame. Think about it. You just found out what's real. You tried to run away. It's not like she had 2 more days or 3 more days.
I don't even think the mother found out, quote unquote, what was real. I think she just was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm escaping. Where like Emma, like you said, had legit
she asked
information.
Her to be a mom. She said, "You." Can be a mom.
So I'm saying Emma had like legit information about the world, though. So when they came to the escape,
I think the mother did too. She was asked to be a mom, or
but I'm saying I don't think she had the knowledge of outside world like Emma did. Like you just said that. Like I don't think like Emma was like, "There's real humans out there. We can live out there." And I think the mom was just like, "I don't want to be a mother. I want to escape."
They didn't know what's out there.
Yeah, they were reading the books, and she was like, "This book talks about other people that don't live in here."
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, they didn't know for sure though. And the point
but I think the mother had even less knowledge.
I think the mother, all she knew was the time that she was told that you can be a mother or you can die. Like she was one of the only people being told the truth. Yeah. And then add on the fact that she had such a small time frame to escape and only did what she was capable of doing. And I don't think if she would have been given more time, like I'm saying, I think things could have been different.
Yeah, I just think that Emma probably had more knowledge of outside worlds. I think it gave her a little more hope in what
but I think
she
also just had more time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
that's
100%.
even more like valuable. She actually was able to do something about it.
Outside of both of those things too is what makes Emma likable, because even like with given the option and her knowledge, she still said no. I even think if she wasn't put in a similar situation where she understood what it meant to be a mother, like you will have to have a child, you will have to give it up to die, you have to take care of children to die. I think the way Emma is written as this overly kind, caring person that cares about her family, she just still wouldn't have done it. I still don't think, like, she would rather have death, probably.
Mm-hmm.
How many mothers do you think they have to have that many children? Like, mothers just, like,
they have to have another breeding, like,
but
fucking
keep in
facility.
mind, too, the mother lost her friend from a really young age. Remember the one she was really into? Mm-hmm. You have to look at Emma, because I don't
she had a support system.
I think people are innately, they have, like, gifts, and I don't look at it as talents, but more like who they are as people. Mm-hmm. But you can't look at people as like, oh, she's, the kindest you'll ever meet. I think she had support systems. She had multiple friends.
Yeah, she couldn't get down because her friends helped build her back up.
Yeah, like the mother had this one guy friend, and then he got Mick 8. And then she was already depressed. She's already alone. It showed her arc of how alone she felt there. She was probably one of the only older kids. There's so many variables as to why maybe she couldn't have gotten out. And I think although Emma is a really strong-willed character, I don't think it's fair to say that
I don't think Emma could have done it alone.
Yeah, I don't think she could have.
If Ray, after Norman died, Emma had a whole spiral. If Ray would have died as well, Emma would not have been able to get out there alone. 100%.
Yep, so I feel like you gotta give the mother some sort of, points towards that like she did try, even though she was so alone.
Even when Norman died, remember, Emma was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Well,
yeah,
Emma
she was
also,
like, there's no point living.
Yeah.
All of the planning that happened after Norman died on Emma's part was Norman told her what to do. Yes. So, yeah. I mean, without those two and that support system, I could see Emma having to be faced with the same decision and depression, but, like, I'm saying, like, the way it's written, that's my thing, is you're right, like, there's no inherently evil person or super kind person, but I'm saying the way that the writer wrote Emma is that she is a very selfless person. She cares about her siblings, her family, and I don't think that she would have liked a life of killing her family over.
I feel like I'd have to see Emma put in a position where there was no way to get out of it. That's
like
what
just
I'm saying.
her.
I really don't think you understand the pressure of what life could have been if she didn't have any of those other options. If she was put in a position like the mother, where both of her friends were
So we're
dead.
saying,
There
what
was
if
no
Ray
older-
died? What if Ray died with
Yeah.
Norman that night? Emma
And-
would not have done anything after that.
Yeah, I really feel like it was circumstantial. I feel like people don't understand like the privileges that come with their individual lives that can make things easier. And I think knowing Emma as a character, if she was put into that situation, I do kind of think that she would choose to die instead of do that to her siblings. But
unless
I also
she would
think,
accept it just to try to plot more to save her family. That's all her character really is plotting to save her family because she loves
I know.
them.
I just think that there is a high chance of her still doing the same thing the mother would have done if she had less of a support system.
I agree.
Just like the mother. And I don't like when people try to idolize characters because there's lots of human feelings that would come with a world like that. And if she had, we saw her fall into depression when she thought Norman was dead. Understandably, I would too. That was like your closest friend, the person you counted on, the person you even thought was smarter than you. You know, how can you do something if they were incapable of escaping it? Like, I think she's a lot more human than we're giving her credit for, and I feel like she's not as invincible as we're saying. So,
well, see, this is my perspective on it, because when you say like I could see her making the same decision as a mother, I think about how a human trait is, you know, you can also be unique in yourself, and you have your own soul, your own thoughts, your own ideas. And so honestly, it's really dependent on what the writer wants at the end of the day. If the writer wanted to write it one way or the other, you know, taking those factors into consideration. But for me, what makes somebody more human is what they would choose at the end of the day. I think what you're insinuating is that even if Emma is as optimistic as she could be at saving her family, that like she could be as low and depressed, and if you catch her in just the right state and was manipulated the right way or had a lack of knowledge about certain things, she could also be swayed too. I think that's a valid point as well, but that's how I see it. I see it as almost more human freedom.
I can agree with both those points. I think that it would just kind of depend on how the writer wrote it, like what were the circumstances that led up to whatever decision she would have made. Because I do think what you're saying is a unique trait people can have. Like, no, this is my morals. This is my line. I will literally die instead of do what the fuck you do. You know.
Yeah.
So I could see Emma doing that. I was just saying, based off of what I'd seen her character go through, I was like, if you caught her at the right time, right, you know, depression. Yeah, I think she could have potentially done it. You know.
Yeah, and you know, with that said too, I think that people look at the mom as like they get a very first taste of her. She's, you know, shitty to her own kid. She watches these kids die repeatedly.
To be fair, she may not have been emotionally attached to Ray, but she gave Ray everything he asked for from the outside world.
But only on the deal of being a spy.
But did she give anybody else that option?
No.
I think it might have been only because, like...
She literally said it was only because you were my kid. I think she said that.
Girl, but here's the thing, is she recognized her kid, and he was also humming. Like, he remembered. He's like, oh, hey, Mom. Like, and so she's like, bro, you know? Like, I think that she probably wouldn't have told him, like, because at the end of the day, they're all her children, even though that's her biological son, and she wants to give them a happy life because she feels hopeless. She's like, there's no hope in this world. And I don't think that she would have wanted her son to be subjected to that, but she's like, since you have this godlike ability to remember shit from fetushood, I think that I'll let you in on getting a camera, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, so then we fast forward to the end, in the moment where well,
the sweating, the shitting, the farting finale.
Yeah, I think that Ray just was. I don't even know if it was necessarily that she was aware that he had this womb knowledge. I think that also just because he was so smart that she like appreciated, like, oh, my kid's really smart and he is my kid, and if he is a spy, I'll give him a little more than he wanted. I just genuinely think that she was like acknowledging that was her birth child.
Do you think that she thought he would remember?
Anyway, when we fast forward, I'm cutting that. When we fast forward to the end, when Ray had a whole fucking meltdown, at least that's how it's perceived as, and fucking catches the building on fire. I think I was with you. I was panicking. I was like, so they already killed Norman, and now they're killing Ray.
Ray's killing himself.
Yeah, I mean, which is like understandable. I would also kill myself instead of going and get eaten at 14, but like, you didn't have to do it to me. And I remember being on the edge of my seat because these are the last 2 episodes that I watched with you guys, and I was just like, They
You know what's crazy? She didn't tell Ray nothing that Norman had told her.
Girl, I was gonna say
that's what's
the
crazy. So it's
funniest
like, I wonder if
fucking
Norman
part-
already was speaking on Ray, or if Ray just was. He is obviously fucking a genius as well. But I was like, how did this work out?
Wait, I remember Norman had said that he wanted the mother to truly feel like they had lost hope, and if he had told Ray anything,
it's possible.
I feel like he knew that Emma was better at hiding it, and he also probably didn't 100% trust Ray either.
Yeah, I think that 100% Norman didn't 100% trust Ray.
The funniest fucking shit was the fact that like when Emma related to Norman, when Emma related to Ray, she's like, "Yeah, Norman completely predicted that you were gonna kill yourself via fire in the kitchen." Like it was so fucking funny. He's like, he called it to a T.
Yeah, then the bitches just show up without their ears, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That was
was insane. Insane for a 14-year-old to cut their own ear off.
Insane.
That was fucking gnarly, but in a cool way.
Why did they just like scoop out
the cutting off all the kids' ears?
No, they only Emma and Ray's is gone.
They only did that to trick the mom to think that Ray was in the fire.
Damn, they really sacrificed.
And then Emma cut hers off so that she could book it without the mom.
Yeah.
Like being like,
how did they not get caught with the other
so I think
ears?
that this is what their logic is. The mom thought, oh my god, Ray is actually in the fire dead. So the mom panics, and the mom saw Emma run. So then she's like, where's Emma?
She said, go get the kids out of the house.
Yeah, so I think the mom didn't give a fuck about anyone else because she just was worried about her child and the fact that Emma was present during the fire. So that's all the mom was tracking at the moment, and the other kids were already gone. Emma and Ray were in that building. The other kids were already at the fence. So
yeah,
even
they already
if she looked for him, it would have been too late.
But
I think
wouldn't
Donner
they still
Gilda
be
was the
able
one
to track them
deactivating.
past the walls if they have the trackers in their ears?
Deactivating.
Oh, they did with the little.
So I bet
little
Donner
machine.
Gilda had the machine, and then when they set the thing on fire, Emma was like, "All right, y'all go." And then Mom ran downstairs, like not checking to see if the other kids are in bed. They're already booking it.
She was just like, "Where did Emma run?" Or at first she was like, "My child's dead." Then she was like, "Where did Emma go?" Because she didn't go where I told her to go. And then she was like, "Emma's ears in this fucking
Yeah. Dude, Emma, they straight up cut.
I'm sorry. I'm a grown-ass adult, and if you looked at me and said, "Ryan, you might die unless you cut your ear off," I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
Bro, I'd
get like halfway through, and I'd be like,
I mean, Van Gogh did it.
Cut my ear off.
Yes,
if I was
myself.
positive that they could do it, they'd be like, "You do that, cut mine off."
Yeah, we would take turns.
Yeah, but if I had to cut my own ear off,
that's a lot.
Just kill me.
That's what I'm saying. Because your body tells you to stop.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe her fight or flight adrenaline was going that bad that it's possible her adrenaline was going that bad that she didn't feel it. But you can't even in theory pierce your own ear really because the pain will stop.
Girl, she said, "Actually, Ray, nice setup for killing yourself. We're gonna make it seem like you killed yourself. Now give me your ear."
That was crazy about it. It's in that moment I genuinely thought that he was about to die, and then for it to be a twist of Emma catching the match, and I was like, "Oh my god, she knew he was gonna do that."
Girl,
they played that
Kinsey,
good.
Kinsey, what if you were gonna kill yourself in this little cafeteria, and I was like, "All right, girlie, we're gonna escape." And I got the two. I was like, "We're gonna escape. Give me your ear." And I pulled a knife out. It's time to cut your ear off. You were gonna die. But now you gotta cut your ear off. What?
I'd be like, "Kaylin, can you do it for me? Please don't ask me to cut my ear
I'd be like,
off."
"All right, don't get mad at me. It's gonna hurt."
Okay, don't get mad at me.
Don't get mad at me.
I probably would get mad at you. I'd be like, "Kaylin, you're taking so long."
I'd be like, "Hold on. The knife went out this way in your ear, and I needed to stay flush along the wall. I just gotta get the lobe, man. I gotta go up from under."
You know what they should have done is just cut off where the lobe is. Where the alarm is at.
The lobe, but just the top. Just cut that off. You need to have a little lobe hanging there.
Like a little clipped ear, like a cat,
What if you missed it, though?
Maybe it wasn't that simple because they only had knives. So it's think about it. You'd have to have somebody hold your ear while you sawed through your ear. Might as well do it where it's already got tension attached to your head. Because you can work against that tension.
I'd be afraid of cutting too far into your head. I have to look for the back and cut to make sure it's just your ear.
That's what we just said. We just said either. Well, we didn't say scoop it out.
I got a PP too.
Clip your ear
in the podcast.
We were thinking either clip your ear like this, kind of like a cat, or we didn't say scoop it out.
I bet you they don't know where it is because think about it. It's inserted to them when they're newborns, and your ear just grows.
Know where it is. They said they knew where it was, but I think it was at times.
Idea where it was.
No, they knew where it was. It was all in the same spot.
But when I grow, my ear's gonna grow around it, so you can't guarantee it's in the same exact spot every person's body.
I don't know if you look at when they deactivated each one in the kids' ears, they would always go to the same spot of the ear. But what I'm saying is, even if you wanted to cut it off a specific way, you don't have that much time. This was a time sensitive thing.
She can't be
what's faster, chopping off your entire ear or sawing a corner of your ear off and potentially still missing it.
I guess the plus side is your ear's all cartilage, no bone. Yeah. It's like, because in theory, like if I was to be like cut your leg off, the part that gets you is the bone.
Yeah.
Did you use a kitchen knife to cut that shit? they didn't have mass weapons in the house.
So, but damn.
I gave that show, and then from there they just
toss their ear in. Is that what you said?
They zip line.
Oh,
I was like they
what?
Zip line to freedom, and then that moment right before Emma jumps and the mom's just staring at her. It's such a bittersweet moment because the mom's kind of like I'm glad you're free, but also like. You're going to cause so much pain and suffrage to me.
Yeah, you're going to cause so much bullshit for me.
Yeah.
All the way to the very end, I feel like the mom would have tried to stop her, but it's the fact they fucking did it.
I think she was, that's what I'm saying. I think she was dumbfounded.
So,
like
they did something that she didn't even think was possible, and that's like escaping and changing the system.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Be safe, guys." Like she actually like.
I just got chills thinking about it.
Like a little prayer, essentially. She had sent them. And then she went and chilled by the little babies who didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
And then she, season 2 spoiler again, just in case you're still listening. Like, she gets arrested for that shit, too.
I forgot about that. I'm not kidding. If I was the bad guys, I would march into that farm and kill every single one of them off. Because, like, you are now
all
no
the
good
kids?
for all of them.
Yeah, one rotten apple, spoil bunch, they say.
I mean, I guess they are really small children. I guess it's not horrible, but you can't think that they aren't like they're at the age enough where they can at least retain some of it. Like those kids, where'd those kids go? I don't know. Like, I think that they're better off just like starting fresh.
Yeah, I mean they're just babies.
Yeah, but they said that was their best farm, so it seems like children are in
but
low
the mom was
demand.
beneficial then, and they killed the mom. She's the reason why they're so smart in theory.
I know, but I'm saying like it seems like they're in low demand, and it seems like obviously we know it takes years to farm human kids according to the show.
Yeah, so no one answer my question is how many mothers do you think there are out there just whacking out kids for these farms?
I feel like I'm sure there's lots, but they said that was the best farm. Think about how many humans are on the earth, and they said that was the best farm. Do you think they really want to get rid of? And I mean, I'm sure trauma makes brains smarter.
Yeah. How many kids do you think in that farm are related?
I don't know.
That's a good point.
So many fucking moms, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but like if me and my partner produced a very smart kid, they would want me to produce another one because like they're like, you guys got good genes. Give me another one.
Yeah, I wonder how many moms stay in positions of actually just birthing.
Yeah, there's probably like hundreds that are their only job is to reproduce.
Tale at that point. It's really freaky to think about. I think, after they escaped, like I said, the way that I would have liked to see the show go back when I was like excited, I was like, they need to get out, like what's outside like these walls and stuff, is obviously I wanted them to live like a covert life of getting stronger, obtaining like weapons and learning to survive. I didn't mind so much that like the world was filled with monsters. I guess that makes sense, like, not just the demons but like monsters in the woods.
Well, we know there's humans out there.
Yeah, I wanted them to find other humans, like maybe human towns, and like maybe there's human towns that are spared because the farm exists, and they're like, we're cool.
I fully think that there's a whole other community out there that we just don't know about.
Like, think about it. Like,
well, don't talk about it, please.
In a world of demons, I'm just saying what I would have liked to have happened. In a world of demons, let's say that there is a human community, and the demons are like, we eat people. If you don't want us to hunt you, let us have this farm. Like, and just like we'll take care of it. We'll tend to it. And the humans are like, you know what, I guess that's fine. Like, that's a good way to compromise. Like, let's say some shitty, selfish, kings and queens. You listening?
Yes.
So then our homies maybe could find those people, maybe find cool humans. Like, that's what I was expecting. And then one day I wanted them to, like, break in, save Norman, like, take down the system. That's what I wanted to see.
Well, I saw a cover for the last manga volume, and they were on animals.
Like horses?
I think it was like a zebra. I could be wrong. I think I'm making this with my head. I sent you a picture of it once. Yeah. Well, anyway. Ask us if we cheered again.
Would you guys share the Promised Neverland?
I think
I tried with Cheyenne, and she said the head's too big. She said
I just showed her the art. I didn't show them her an episode. I think the Promised Neverland you can only show to someone who like already watches anime because it's very like the style is very much anime.
Yes,
you can't show it to a normie.
I feel like out of a lot of animes, though, like, for example, you had said you watched Inuyasha when you were young, but I felt like, maybe you didn't watch anime anymore, you weren't an anime fan, so I was like, I was rolling the dice. I was like, But I still felt like Promised Neverland it's a short, sweet first season with a really good story, really
and
good
the story
hook.
keeps you pulled. That's what I will say. Anyone who's even like remotely into anime, I'd be like, watch Promised Neverland. 12 episodes.
I don't think
and
you
it'll
could show
keep
a
you hooked
normie
in.
just like, a long running season like Naruto or Attack on Titan easily. Like, I feel like those are the shows you can only show someone that already watches anime. What about you, Kinsey?
What'd you say?
We are talking about if you would share it with someone. We're
Sorry, I
ending
was
the show.
reading something.
What, a spoiler?
Actually, I told you I already knew the ending, but I just wanted to refresh on exactly what had happened, so I was reading it right now on my phone. Yeah, I've recommended this anime multiple times. I would recommend it again. I would tell them not to watch season 2 because season 1 is so thrilling, so good. And it was one of my favorites.
Honestly, I'm glad that they continued the story. Obviously, like, the manga already existed, but if the Promised Neverland just ended like that, I think it would still be an amazing short anime.
Yeah, there's always books like that end like that.
Dang, that's exciting.
Who asks who what?
This one's not as important. But Kinsey, what are you sharing with us next week?
What the fuck am I? Oh, okay. Next week, I'm sharing Howl's Moving Castle, y'all. It's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie and one of my favorite animated movies. Very, very top 5.
Understandably.
I know. I loved watching the movie. I found it my junior year of college, and it really helped me during a really hard time in my life.
I'm excited. But we love a good story with a gentleman.
I think if we were to describe like one movie, like for each of us, I think Howl's Moving Castle would describe Kinsey. What?
Either Howl's Moving Castle or How to Train Your Dragon, but I think Howl's Moving Castle really reflects my
your
aesthetic.
Yeah, I think that the first Ghibli movie I watched with you guys was Spirited Away, and you were like, Mariah, listen, I know you're a hopeless romantic. You need to watch Howl's Moving. Next weekend, we will be watching Howl's Moving Castle. And I was like, okay. And then the fucking movie starts. I did fall asleep in Ponyo. The movie starts, and we're already 5 minutes in. You're like, did you catch that? Did you notice how he said that? Did you catch that part? And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm watching yet. But it's okay. It was appreciated.
Damn.
Well, okay, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.